I'm going to start out by presenting some really depressing numbers, I'm afraid. As you know, smoking is one of the most important preventable causes of ill health and death. And according to the American Cancer Society, smoking kills about several million annually. And this number is expected to increase. And in Europe alone, 1.4 million deaths are caused by smoking, and the annual decline in tobacco consumption in Europe is below 1%. So we're not yet in the endgame phase of the cigarette epidemic. Now, this is the prevalence of daily smoking in European countries. You see that Bulgaria and Greece at the very top with 35% smokers. In Sweden, where users more often consume their tobacco as snus, placed at the very bottom with only 5% smokers. So after 50 years of systematic tobacco control, there are still 25% daily smokers in Europe on average. But there is no lack of strategy plans for combating smoking. And in my preparation for this conference, I did a rather, perverse thing of reading all the national strategy plans I could find on the internet. And you can see them here. And reading this was quite a repetitive exercise because they were very identical. Some of them set up a date for achieving a totally smoke-free society, as you can see here. So they put a zero vision for smoking and then displayed the efforts necessary to fulfill that aim. And the zero vision is supposed to be achieved mainly through intensified use of traditional means of tobacco control, meaning more information, keeping telling people that smoking is still bad, stronger regulation, higher taxes, intensified media campaigns, denormalization of smoking, essentially making smokers feel bad about themselves because it's for their own good, and increased assistance in smoking cessation. So according to these plans, these efforts will eventually make smoking and smokers disappear. No, I have been working in tobacco control now for 35 years, and my prediction is that this policy ain't going to fulfill this zero vision, and that's because uh, the societies in which these efforts will be implemented have changed. We will be putting out more information into populations that are already very well informed about smoking is bad. In fact, smokers tend to overestimate their own risk. We will be implementing stronger regulations in societies already very well regulated. The infrastructure for tobacco control in Europe, most European countries is strong. And we will have tax rates on products that already appear costly below SES groups that makes up the majority of smokers in many countries. We will intensify campaigns to an audience already trained in dealing with unwanted information. And we also intend to denormalize a group that is already feeling stigmatized. So there might be marginal returns from intensifying the traditional means of tobacco control. And moreover, we also have to take into consideration that the smokers at the receiving end, they have changed. Compared to smokers we in tobacco control addressed some decades ago, the remaining smokers have become more resistant and reactant and immune against further attacks on the behavior. And as a group, smokers have gone through a social class descent and have become overrepresented of persons from vulnerable groups and many with mental disorders and thereby lack of coping skills in quit smoking attempts. So, the smokers don't look like this anymore. When smoking was associated by the style and high class, they're no longer scientists and educators smoking cans. Smokers are no longer doctors, dentists, or nurses who recommend cigarettes in the ads. They're no longer the athletes who, without anyone taking notice, could enjoy a fag before the second half. Started as Billy Bremner here, but the riders in Tour de France sharing a cigarette. Now, I could have shown you a lot of statistics, but this picture illustrating class descent of smokers. It's really telling it all, I'm afraid. So anyway, the society has changed, and the smokers have changed, but the tobacco control policy, as expressed in these strategy plans, remains more or less the same. So after spending 35 years in tobacco control, my experience is that it is difficult for us in tobacco control to realize and accept that no nicotine products may have greater potential to make smoking obsolete than the regulations we have spent a lifetime fighting for. And that's why the program committee of this conference found it convenient, I think, to start out with this session. Tobacco control policies, do they work? And then I'll leave it to my co-chair, Dr. Thomas, to introduce the first speaker.